Morning guys, good to see you again. Welcome back to the channel. Well, have I been waiting for this day for a long time. Now, it's April the 1st today. No April Fool's jokes though, not from me. But on Monday, just gone, March the 29th, was what they classed as Freedom Day. It's, the COVID rules have been relaxed slightly for us and we're allowed to jump in our vehicles and travel further afield. And it's absolutely fantastic. I've been looking forward to this day for such a long time. Now, I've travelled over to the outskirts of Sheffield, the Peak District National Park, and I've come to Padley Gorge. Not been here before, obviously seen lots of images online of the lovely streams and little cascades and waterfalls and the moss-coloured rocks, boulders and the tight, gnarly, twisty oaks. So really looking forward to getting exploring. I've not stepped out the van yet, but it's rocking about a bit and the tops of the trees are swaying about, so I don't think the conditions are going to be great. But I'm here, I'm so excited. I'm just going to let it get a little bit lighter, get wrapped up, and then head on out and go for an explore and see what we can find. Let's go and have a look. That was a nice grinding wheel, laying down there, weathering away. Nice surprise to see that in here, but what a stunning place. Obviously, as you can see, it's pretty flat, no atmosphere or any conditions. Us woodland and landscape photographers are never happy, always want a bit of mist or something, but so many compositions just in the 100-200 yards that I've walked. So if I don't come away with a couple of images today, it'll be a bad job. But anyway, let's carry on looking round. Well, what a beautiful waterfall I've come across. I'm perched right on a massive rock, right in the middle of the waterfall. A little bit precarious, but it's quite dry, so it's not too slippery, so that's okay. But I just wanted to photograph something different with a bit of movement, try out a long exposure, which is obviously something that I've not done for quite a while now. I've not come across any waterfalls, obviously, locally. So, obviously, when I headed out to Padley Gorge, I knew there was a series of waterfalls and I just wanted to grab a frame before I found any sort of more woodlandy type compositions. And it's a lovely cascade waterfall type, obviously leading through these gigantic boulders, all covered in nice moss. I'm on the 16 to 35 and I'm at about 18 mil on the 5D4 obviously. Now I've got the variable polarizer on, and I'm using that at its maximum strength, to take the sheen off the water so that you can see through a bit to the nice brown peaty coloured water that we've got on this waterfall. And also, as you know, with the variable polarizers, it really does enhance the colours, and it's bringing out all the lovely green tones of, you know, the moss on all these boulders, and it's giving some lovely colour. Now in the composition, I've got I think it's a young beech that's retained its dead leaves. I think it's beech, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. So I've got that in the top left-hand frame, in the left-hand corner of the frame. I've tried to keep as much of it in the frame as I can in the composition, because the gorge does fall away a bit as your eye leads up the gorge, up the waterfall, and there's a tiny bit of sky in the right-hand corner of the frame. But I should be able to bring the tones down a bit in that, hopefully. I've got a young sapling, not sure, I think it's a beech or a birch, I'm not sure. A young sapling reaching right across the gorge, across the waterfall, which is adding another nice element. It's got some nice young buds just coming through on the end of the branches and the twigs, so that's quite nice. And I've started the frame obviously with the waterfall where it ends, around all the bubbles and the froth. Again, using the variable polarizer, it's taken a lot of the sheen off, and it's just softened down that froth nicely. But the series of rocks on the left and right hand side of the frame, keep bringing your eye back onto the waterfall as you follow your eye and lead it up the composition. So yeah, quite happy with this. Some might say it's a little bit messy, but I just wanted to have a go at a waterfall and a bit of long exposure. So with the variable polarizer on at max strength, I've managed to get the shutter speed. Let's just have a look. I'm at 2.5 second exposure, which is just giving me a nice amount of movement in the water. I'm at f16, ISO 100 obviously. Now what I've done, I've focus stacked it. I've taken 3 exposures, obviously focused on the nearest rock to me in the foreground, and then a rock in the midground, and then another rock right in the far distance of the composition. And what I shall do, I'll stack all 3 of them images in Photoshop so that I've got a nice sharpness leading all the way through the frame. Even when you're at f16 at that small aperture, you still get a bit of drop off front and back of the frame, so I thought I'd better focus stack it just to be safe, to make sure that I've got the whole composition nice and sharp. So yeah, that's the first frame in the bag. Say, perhaps a little bit messy, but I quite like it. I love all the greens on the moss, and I say I wanted a long exposure frame just to get started with. So whoa, what was that? Some sort of warbler just came flying through. He's tucked into one of the rocks. But anyway, I'll pop the frame up now, guys, and I hope you like it. Well, I've come across quite a chaotic scene really, but quite nicely lit. Now as you can see, it's pretty flat in here, and I'm struggling to get any sort of separation amongst these beautiful shaped gnarly oaks. But I'm shooting down the gorge towards the gorge itself, and obviously there's quite a gap in the canopy, and so it's given me a nice bit of separation because it's so light behind these oaks. That's the method in the madness anyway. So I've got a pine on my left, I've got 3 oaks on my right, and another oak to the left behind the pine, just creating a nice frame. Got some really nice young I think they're beech or birch saplings that have retained their dead leaves. So there's a nice bit of colour in the foreground, and then as your eye travels through the frame, got some lovely mossy coloured rocks or boulders, and then obviously the gnarly oaks behind that. And I say it's a bit of a chaotic scene, but the light's coming in from the canopy as well, and it's really highlighting the nice moss. Now, as you can see, got the 70 to 200 on to try and get that depth. I'm at about 75-80 mil. I've got the variable polarizer on. I've kept it on and just using it, maxing it out again to really enhance the colours like I did down at the waterfall. I'm at f10 and I've focused on the oak nearest me, and I want that drop off, so I'm not going to focus stack or anything, so I should still get a nice bit of separation as the frame falls away focus wise. So I'm at f10, ISO 100, and I'm at 1/4 of a second exposure time, and I think it's going to work. Might add a bit of vignette, just put a few highlight tones, you know, bring out the highlights on the moss, on the branches themselves. But there's a nice bit of colour with the young beech saplings, dead leaves, so that's nice. So all in all, I think I found a nice frame. It's pretty difficult today because I say there's no separation whatsoever. Some fantastic shaped trees, but they're just all blending in, all the shapes. So I say by using the light area that's in the gorge, it's just giving me a bit of depth to this frame. So anyway, I'm babbling on. I'll pop it up now, guys. I hope you like it. It's 5 to 12. I've been in here since 7 o'clock-ish, and so I found two compositions that I'm quite happy with, the waterfall and then that nice sort of chaotic scene down the bottom of the gorge there. But I am struggling, I think, because it's so flat and everything's sort of blending in together, all the shapes of all these gnarly oaks. There's some fantastic shapes about, and I think I'm just getting a bit frustrated, a bit anxious and stressed about the whole situation, and the fact that I'm not seeing what I want. And I perhaps came here with a big expectation of getting some stunning scenery, and so I've decided I'm going to have a break. I'm going to nip back to the van and have a coffee and just have 10-20 minutes, and then I'm going to probably head over the other side of the gorge, see how I feel, and if there's anything over there I'll have a look. But I'd strongly recommend that, guys. If you're out and about and you're just not seeing anything and you're looking too hard, just stop, have a break, and then sometimes you'll go back to the same spot and you'll see something totally different to what you couldn't see before. So yeah, I'm going to nip back to the van, have a coffee, just have a sit down and just relax a bit, and then come out again and have another go. So catch up in a bit. Well, what a difference it makes when you have a break. I could have easily gone home, you know, really. I was quite disheartened and quite frustrated that I wasn't finding anything. Well, that and the fact that perhaps I went to the wrong area of the gorge first thing. But anyway, I had that coffee, felt like giving it another go, so I came back out again, came to the other side of the gorge this time, and wow, what a spot it is. So many gnarly oaks, it's absolutely fantastic. It's almost quite similar to Wistman's really. And as you can see, this tree here, look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Now obviously I've taken about, I don't know, a dozen or so compositions, handheld, and I've been wandering around with the tripod, just snapping away different compositions that I think will work. Obviously, they're not working today because there's no fog, mist, or any atmosphere, so there's no separation, as you can see there. But you get some mist in here, and crikey, you could get a heck of a set of images from here. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, getting over here while the fog's here, and you know, and timing it right. And I doubt it's only about 500 yards long probably, so it's not that big an area, similar to Wistman's again. But I bet I've taken a dozen frames or so, and I doubt that you would be able to manage to get all them while the mist is here, because we know how quickly mist rolls in and out. So but really good scout around, and I've really found some lovely compositions. And I say, this one here, this would work a treat on a misty day. But obviously, because I'm facing towards the gorge as well, so you'd get a lovely drop off and some fantastic separation. But so really pleased I had that break. Highly recommend having a break if you're feeling a bit frustrated and you don't think you're going to find anything. I say probably I made a mistake and went the wrong side of the gorge this morning, but I'm pleased I had the break, came out again, and I've managed to find some lovely shots. So what I'll do, I'll work on them, and then I'll pop a few of the better ones up now, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, if I keep my eye out and chance it right and just land right on a nice foggy misty day, should have a heck of a time here. But anyway, I'll pop a few frames up now, and hope you like them, guys. Well, as you can see by them few frames, a lot of potential here. Some smashing trees and lovely shapes here. Say, very similar to Wistman, so I think I might make a little bit of a project of it. Project Padley Gorge. And it's about an hour and a half from home, but if I know it's going to be a really foggy, misty day over here, I'll be shooting back across now that I've got them few compositions in the bag. So yeah, definitely be coming back here. And I'm so pleased that I took time out and had a break as well. It does make all the difference. And eventually found this place. It wasn't a waste of time this morning. Got some nice shots of the waterfalls and that, and the cascades and bits and bobs. So yeah, really enjoyed it across there as well. But say, just really pleased that I just took 5 minutes out and then came back out again. Made all the difference. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that bit of an adventure, guys, and definitely got potential, this place. If you could remember to give it a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Really does help out the channel when you hit the like button. So I'm not looking where I'm going here. I'm going uphill. Anyway, yeah, thanks ever so much for watching, guys, and catch up next week. Take care, catch up soon.